The views and opinions expressed during this program are not necessarily those of Overseas Radio Network, the Expat Broadcasting Group, the staff, management, or broadcast partners. All information provided is for educational purposes only. Before taking action, consult a licensed professional.
The Coast to Coast.
Check 1, 2. Testing.
Now hear me.
You're listening to This Week in Costa Rica.
Once the volume control is set, do not readjust.
On the Overseas Radio Network.
That's why I want you to go on the radio.
This Week in Costa Rica, bringing you the latest information from expats, experts, and people just like you who chose to escape, retire, and live in Costa Rica.
Listen and decide in your own mind what sounds best.
Got a question? A comment?
They have to be dealt with on an altogether different level.
Or just want to talk to an expert on living in Costa Rica?
Brother, what a way to make a living.
Give us a call now.
Hello?
Lines are open and your answers are just one phone call away.
Now, if you have some suggestions to offer, we're willing to listen to you.
Ready?
This Week in Costa Rica, with your host,
Who you?
Corey Coates.
And now, folks, it's showtime.
Welcome to This Week in Costa Rica. Another beautiful Monday afternoon. Coming to you live from the Overseas Radio Broadcast Facility here in sunny Jaco Beach, Costa Rica. Sun's beating down on the Overseas Radio studio today, coming to you from the West Coast, looking out over the ocean. Having a grand old time here in this beautiful country of Costa Rica. If this is your first time joining us on the program, welcome. And if you are a regular listener, welcome back. Always nice to hear from you. And by hear from you, I mean thanks for sending me all those emails. Man, oh man, I'm getting overwhelmed here. Info at This Week in Costa Rica is the email address if you want to contact me here at the show. This is a 2-hour program broadcast from the Republic of Costa Rica in order to bring you guys some information about this great nation, this expatriation destination, as I like to say, where many people from the United States of America, Canada, Europe, Australia, and otherwise love to come here and call this place home. Whether they are a foreign retiree, a young entrepreneur and investor, or simply the ones with the wanderlust bug who love to travel the globe and bounce around, call this place home for even a short period of time, well, we're here to help you in any way we can to clear up any misconceptions about this country, maybe inject a little editorial and opinion about this country, but mostly provide you guys with that boots on the ground, first-hand account of what it's like to live here. As I have for the last 7 years. I just eclipsed my 7-year anniversary. I moved here on April the 11th, way back in 2006. How's my math? Yeah, that's right, 2006. 7 years I've been living here, and it didn't seem like it was going to be that long. Came down here initially to teach English as a second language. ESL, as they say, English as a second language. I got my TESOL certification. TESOL. Teacher of English to Speakers of Other Languages is what that stands for. I thought, I'll come down here for maybe 5-6 months, duck out of society for a while, enjoy the warm weather, try something a little different. And I'll tell you what happened. I loved it. I loved the work. I loved the climate. I loved the people. I loved Costa Rica. I even loved all the stuff that people think is kind of hard and bad about this country. I thought it was all kind of endearing and charming. Some of those things that are endearing and charming do tend to wear off over time. You might hear it in my voice as we go through these programs, but for the most part, this country is still one of the most agreeable places I've ever been. And the reason why I mentioned the TESOL certification that I got before I came here to teach, and the career path that I ended up taking and not expecting, is because we're going to devote a fair portion of this show today to that particular subject. I mentioned at the beginning of the program that I receive, a lot of emails nowadays, getting a lot of attention for the program. And again, thank you. I appreciate that. And I definitely get a lot of email about teaching English as a second language here and how that works. The second hour of this program is going to be entirely devoted to this subject. We're going to be talking about how you can get that certification And full disclaimer, how I can help you get that certification. I have made a couple of changes here in my career path once again. Decided to work with some of my trusted colleagues who I've worked with over the last 6 or 7 years here in this field to take the Global TESOL College, which is established in Coronado near the Central Valley of Costa Rica, and move it out here to Jaco and assist with the administration of this particular teaching center. Now, you're going to ask yourself, what the heck is this thing? Well, we are going to spend a lot of time explaining what the TESOL Center is. And it's pretty straightforward. If you want to teach English not only in Costa Rica, but in a foreign country, it is strongly advised that you have the certification to do that. You have the training and you have the certificate. The TESOL Training Center is a globally recognized and accredited program to help you acquire that certification. It is a month-long program, and we're going to be speaking a great deal about it here today to provide you with some information about it, and not only it, but all of the ways that a lot of these TESOL certification programs do work. I'm going to be phoning up to New York to speak to the owner of the Global TESOL College here in Costa Rica about the program, about when he got it started here many years ago, and about all the trainees that have successfully graduated the program and moved on to full-time teaching careers, not only here in Costa Rica, but abroad. In addition to that, I'm going to be bringing in Andrew Woodbury. You may remember Andrew from previous programs. He is, and soon to be was, the Director of English Studies at the Swiss organization here in Costa Rica called In Lingua. For many years, he has been the guy who hires all those full-time teachers. He's decided now to move on and start working for us here at the Global TESOL College here in Jaco. Instead of hiring teachers now, he's going to dig a little bit deeper and start training those teachers and assist them in getting hired. You see where I'm going with this, guys? We're really trying to create an opportunity for people to come down to Costa Rica now, get trained and certified as a professional English teacher here or abroad, also be guided by experts who are living here in Costa Rica to assist you with not only your housing, but the most important part, finding work when you're done, helping you guys, holding your hands and getting you into working positions when you finish your training program. All the while, maybe we're going to have a little bit of fun here too. Don't forget, Costa Rica is a great vacation destination. The culmination of the two to get certified to teach English while you enjoy this gorgeous country. Taking tours, taking trips, and enjoying yourself here is an incredible experience. So we are going to speak for an hour about that today, about how the program is going to function, where you can get the information about it, and how you can contact us directly. If this is something that you have been interested in, hey, maybe this is something you're going to become interested in, and you're thinking about maybe taking a month out of your life to do something a little bit different and be certified to do something really, really powerful and unique. That and a whole bunch more. Don't forget, guys, the website is thisweekincostarica.com. We are on Facebook and Twitter as well. 888-741-7472 if you want to call in today. This is Corey. We're going to have Dan Stevens from the Costa Rican Times up next. Stick around, guys.
So you want to jump out your trick bag and ease on into hip bag, but you ain't just exactly sure what's hip.
Sit back and relax. You are tuned into the Overseas Radio Network.
Looking to invest, live, or retire overseas? Before you pack your bags, you need to log on to nagellog.com. It's the only stop you need to make for global business, asset protection, estate planning, overseas residency, and citizenship needs. Our experts have experience working in 41 countries around the world. Starting a business abroad can be overwhelming without expert help. We assist clients with foreign trust, foundations, corporations, LLCs, IBCs, and property acquisition. Need help with IRA assets abroad, capital formation, foreign securities issues, banking, brokerage, or finance needs? nagellog.com. We ensure compliance with U.S. tax and regulatory laws. We engineer global structures to help our clients achieve their personal and business objectives. To find out about our introductory personal asset protection plan, visit NagelLaw.com. NagelLaw.com. We represent capital overseas.
Belize, an asset protection haven where English is the official language. If you've been considering protecting your assets with an offshore trust or foundation, look no further. An asset protection structure from Georgetown Trust will serve you and your family for generations to come. Your grandkids will be grateful for the legacy that you were wise enough to establish for them today. You'll rest easy because Belize has some of the most protective trust laws in the world, and it's all done in English. Georgetown Trust has served thousands of clients over the past 15 years with integrity, efficiency, and privacy. Georgetown Trust also serves as a registered agent for IBC's mutual funds and insurance companies. If you're an offshore service provider, inquire about wholesale structures to fit almost any offshore need. Visit our website today, www.georgetowntrust.com, and see how simple and affordable getting started can be. Mention ORN and receive $100 off a structure formation. That's www.georgetowntrust.com.
You've decided that you want to move overseas for that quality of life experience you've always dreamed of. But you don't want to give up the best of back home. We agree. Things like high-speed internet, safe neighborhoods where you can stroll along a shaded sidewalk, a place where you know your neighbors and you have friends close by. These are important. Grand Pacifica Beach and Golf Resort gives you the best comforts of back home paired with the exceptional lifestyle only available south of the border. Imagine strolling along over 3 miles of secluded beach, playing around a golf along the ocean, surfing a world-class break all to yourself, enjoying a fine meal on your balcony and toasting to another spectacular sunset. All this and more can be yours only an hour from Managua. Complete home and lot packages start under $100,000, and a nice home on the golf course is yours for the mid-twos. Come visit for a weekend and enjoy our oceanside golf course. Ride horseback on the beach, meet your future neighbors, and make some new friends. Grand Pacifica may be a place you'd like to call home. For more information, email Mike@Mike'sGringoLife.com. That's Mike@Mike'sGringoLife.com.
You're tuned in to OverseasRadio.com, the station to help you reach your dream destination.
You know what I just heard?
What? Costa Rica has the reputation of being the happiest country on earth.
But it gets better.
This Week in Costa Rica brings you the best information.
The best.
From the people who understand why so many choose to call this beautiful place home. Bringing you the latest information from expats, experts, and people just like you who chose to escape, retire, and live in Costa Rica. This Week in Costa Rica. Pura Vida.
Welcome back to This Week in Costa Rica. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Hanging out here on the beach. Paco Beach, that is, Costa Rica. Coming to you from the Overseas Radio Broadcast Facility. It is the second segment of the first hour today, which means I make my phone call into the greater San Jose area. Talk to my good friend and the founder and editor of the Costa Rican Times, Mr. Dan Stevens. Dan, how are we?
I am good, Corey. I hope to be doing this radio show live from your studio next week.
You're thinking about coming out here? That would be fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea to me. I need a little dose of the beach every once in a while.
All right, and for all the listeners, once again, I love calling into you because you like to disseminate all that information for me and boil it down into the stuff that I think I need to know. A couple things I'd like to talk about with you today. There's a great article on the Costa Rican Times about the Tico from space, Franklin Chang, who's doing a clean energy project here in Costa Rica. So why don't we give a little background to the listeners who Franklin Chang actually is first?
Well, first of all, it's Franklin Chang, and he is a Costa Rican astronaut that has gone up. He actually was nominated into the Astronaut Hall of Fame, and in my opinion, one of the most intelligent Costa Ricans in the country. I would love for him to actually be president here instead of some of the people they put up there, but that's just my opinion.
You know, they should have reversed it. They should put Chinchilla up in space and keep Chang down here.
Or we can just keep her up there forever. That'd be great.
Fair enough.
But he's Costa Rica was promoting a few years back, and I believe they're still trying to promote it, even though it's probably not going to happen, was them being carbon neutral by the year 2021. I really believe that was just another ploy for ISE to try to get more people to come for tourism, because they are nowhere near doing that. However, on the private side, Franklin Chang and his team at Ad Astra are putting together what could really promote green energy here, or clean energy here in Costa Rica. What they're doing is they're actually putting up wind turbines to power an electrolyzer, which will separate hydrogen from water. And then they're trying to put together a compression process where they're going to be able to put that into hydrogen engines. And as we know, when hydrogen, when it burns, turns directly back into water.
Yeah, that's the emission.
Correct. And so it looks like a great project. They're looking to be able to have results on the testing by the end of this year. Which, considering it's a private entity and not a government entity in Costa Rica, that might actually happen.
Interesting. Wasn't Franklin, or isn't he still involved in some sort of a plasma propulsion engine for space travel or something?
Yeah, he did design that, and that's one of the reasons he still works for when he was working with NASA, and one of the reasons they brought him on because of his intelligence and his team, and at Ad Astra. So it's he is one of the most intelligent Costa Ricans that I think that are out there. So.
Yeah, once again, if he hadn't been touched by NASA and it wasn't an astronaut, he'd just be another nutball in the jungle trying to solve the world's energy crisis. But looks like he's doing great things. And I'm with you. You put actually a little bit of commentary here, I think, in the article that I agree with. This guy should be the president.
I think he should. I mean, if you can look at Chinchilla and her group of lackeys out there, and there's not much they do correct.
And I don't want to get political here, but it turns out that Lauda now has the lowest rating, or the lowest approval rating in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, that might be doing to something that she's imposing a lot of fees and taxes on the local population, which with the cost of living here, they really can't handle right now.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit out of control. Now, what the heck's going on here with this new toll road that's being built?
Well, with the new toll road, which goes between San Ramon and San Jose, and there's a lot of people that live in San Ramon that commute back and forth because it's just a nice area to live in. And they have contracted out a toll road for OAS, which is a Brazilian company, but the only thing is the charge that they're going to be actually imposing for this toll to go to and from, the round trip cost is $8 or 4,000 colones. I mean, approximately $8.
That's a lot by anybody's standards.
Correct. And if you look at how much that really is, San Ramon's about an hour away from San Jose. And so they're charging $8 for the toll. And then let's say it's 3 gallons of gas to go to and from. And it's $5 a gallon of gas down here. You're looking at $23 a day that these people are going to have to use to commute to and from work.
Wow.
And at that cost, that's $450 a month. And if the average salary in Costa Rica is about $700 to $800, then you're taking more than half their salary away just for transportation. And that's the real reason they've been protesting this since Juan Santa Maria Day.
Now, this is interesting because this ties back to the Juan Santa Maria Festival in Alajuela. Now, this is a national holiday, right? And it's marking it's memorializing the drummer boy, basically. Now, explain to me again, what exactly did Juan Santa Maria do?
Okay, my version of this story is probably not what the Costa Ricans want to hear, but anyway, my version of the story is, well, the Costa Rican army didn't have the huevos to actually go burn this guy's barracks down. And so they sent this 15-year-old kid named Juan Santa Maria on basically a suicide mission. And he went and he set the barracks on fire, and through that they won the battle at Rivas. Which basically ended the conflict. So after that, he was immortalized, and now he's at an airport.
And of course, yeah. And he apparently was a drummer. And that's why a lot of the Tico kids want to be a drummer, yeah?
Yes.
Well, I learned that because look, when I moved to Costa Rica, it's really funny because I moved here during Semana Santa, and then right after that was Juan Santa Maria Day. And where I was originally living in a small community called San Lorenzo, which I'm sure you know, beside me was a public school. And at this time of the year, the public schools are full of kids at 7 o'clock in the morning pounding on snare drums, practicing for the parades.
Well, actually, the joy of this is now that they practice like at 8 to 10 o'clock at night. So when I'm trying to actually get work done, I'm putting on my headphones and listening to music as loud as I can, because they're really good at drumming and they're very loud at it. So.
Yeah, and they practice all year for these parades, and they practice right beside my eardrum, it seems. I don't know what's up with that. But now this turned into quite an affair when President Chinchilla, she did her speech, her annual speech for Juan Santa Maria de Alajuela, and this got out of hand.
Yeah, it did get out of hand. And another reason why it got out of hand as well is they were letting certain people into this area and trying and actually keeping a lot of people out. And it was almost like elitism on who was allowed in, et cetera. So I mean, there were so many things. I mean, you have the San Ramon toll road and then this, and the combination of it both just pissed off the population, and they've been going at it since that day.
Well, this is the point. I mean, if you're going to go see your president speak on a national holiday, anybody should be able to go and see her speak.
Right. It should have been like that. I mean, there were people outside going, well, I promised my son I was going to go in and see this, and they were getting blocked out. And, I mean, if they knew that many people were going to show up, then have it in a larger area where more people can come.
It just seems to me day after day after day that her and her administration is continuing to mishandle pretty much every situation that's being presented to her.
I agree with that as well, and I'm anxious to see what happens with Obama's visit, because for me, it's humorous to me that they're thinking about having the government take a day off that day, because of, I guess, the emperor's coming, but I think about it in my head and I go, okay, why would they do that? And I think it's because if maybe the electricity goes out or they have an internet down, they can go, well, we're not working today, so that's why it happened.
Sure, right. Now I can tell you, I'm pretty excited about His Royal Highness Barack Obama coming to Costa Rica. I think I'm actually going to that event.
Nice. Congratulations. That should be a lot of fun.
Well, straight up, man, I'd love to fist bump the president. This guy's like next to Elvis and Santa Claus, the most important person on the world, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then, you got the Easter Bunny as well, and then Juan Santa Maria.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, I've seen a lot of parallels, I think, between the way that our president and the United States of America's president have been running their administration and the response that's been coming from the population and the effectiveness of it in the countries.
I agree. And, you look at the rating of people of both Obama and Chinchilla, and both are drastically falling right now. The cost of living is going up. You look at Obamacare, it's requiring higher deductibles for medical care. You're looking at the taxes that are being imposed, in Costa Rica, and the fact that the salaries are not keeping up with the increase in cost of living, and it's causing a lot of unrest.
And both of these presidents love to blame the opposition for the ineffectiveness of their policies.
Well, it's always Bush's fault, so it's all good.
Sure, well, good enough. All right, everybody, I want to thank again Dan Stevens for joining me today, bringing me up to speed on what's going on around Costa Rica. If you want to find out what's going on around Costa Rica each and every day, just do what I do. Pop open your iPad there and go to CostaRicanTimes.com, and you can find all the latest news and blues from the Central Valley and all around this great country. And I want to send out my appreciation to Dan today for joining me, because once again, I'm just too lazy to sift through all this information and put it together myself. So thanks so much again, Dan.
Not a problem, Corey. You have a great week.
I'm going to do that. You guys stick around. I got my partner in crime coming in for a couple segments. Lyle Head, the unofficial mayor of Jaco. Let us know what's going on around this town. If you guys want to join us, you certainly can. The email is info@thisweekincostarica.com. I'm going to take a bit of a break. Thanks again, Dan. Thank you guys for sticking around. We'll be right back.
So you want to jump out your trick bag and ease on into hip bag, but you ain't just exactly sure what's hip.
Live call-in shows and hosts from your favorite countries. This is the Overseas Radio Network.
Worried about rising taxes, costly insurance, out-of-control healthcare, economic decline, staggering debt, mortgages, and retirement? It doesn't have to be this way. Escape to Ecuador, one of the most beautiful countries on the planet, and at EcuadorAtYourService.com. Be your guide. Ecuador has been named the #1 retirement destination in the world 3 times in a row. So if you're searching for beaches, jungles, farmlands, cities, affordable healthcare, and a richer lifestyle at half the cost, contact EcuadorAtYourService.com.
This is 90 Seconds with Joel Nagel on the Overseas Radio Network.
I have over $250,000 in assets I'd like to protect. Could you explain what an APT is?
Sure. An APT is short for an Asset Protection Trust. And this is quite simply the Cadillac of all asset protection strategies.
So what exactly does this Asset Protection Trust do for me?
It legally moves assets out of your personal name to a separate legal person. And when I say legal person, a juridical person, a person created by the contract, the trust itself, not a natural person. And this juridical person can simply not be sued in U.S. courts.
Now, considering that I've added this extra layer of protection to my assets through this APT, are there any other financial maneuvers or dealings that I can do through the APT as opposed to acting on my own behalf?
The Asset Protection Trust is also the foundational element to create, this foreign person to make investments that are closed to U.S. investors, such as hedge funds, foreign stocks, and various other non-SEC registered investment products. So there's a lot of reasons from an asset protection and from an investment standpoint that folks want to have an asset protection trust, or APT for short.
For more information on the 15 global strategies to protect your wealth, visit NagelLaw.com. That's NagelLaw.com.
This is Kathleen Petticourt and Leif Simon with the Live and Invest Overseas Minute on the Overseas Radio Network. How would a move overseas affect your tax burden? The good news is that moving overseas as a retiree, earning only retirement income, should be a tax-neutral event. Any local tax obligation in the country where you relocate will depend on where and how your income while living there is derived, and foreign retirement income, Social Security income or pension income, for example, typically isn't taxed anywhere in the world.
Your tax situation can be more complicated, and it is possible that you could acquire a new tax burden in the country where you relocate if you have earned income or investment income in addition to your retirement income. That's why you need to seek experienced professional counsel on this before making your move. Once you've taken up residence in your new country, some options for mitigating and managing your tax burden could be taken off the table.
For more information on making the leap overseas, visit us online at liveandinvestoverseas.com.
You're tuned in to OverseasRadio.com, your online radio resource about life abroad.
This Week in Costa Rica is hosted by Canadian entrepreneur Corey Coates. Corey has been living and working as a professional in Costa Rica for over 5 years.
I've been lost in my own place, and I've been
He's built a vast network of professional connections to help you with everything from immigration to relocation. Call in or send Corey an email to talk about the steps you need to take in making your dream of living in paradise a reality.
Welcome back to This Week in Costa Rica. Big thanks to Dan. Always appreciate getting that call, bringing me up on all of the things happening in Costa Rica. I'm too lazy, man. I just can't go through all that information. I'm glad he does it for me. Got my best friend here in the studio. We're best friends now. You know that?
Oh, BFF.
Yeah, you bet. We got Lyle Head from Daystar Properties in. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Oh, glad to be here.
You bring me up to speed on all the things happening here in Jaco Beach. And man, oh man, things are just getting nice and easy going again now that this season is now finally winding down into the rainy season, right?
Yeah, we'll have our busy weekends, but the weeks will be nice and cool.
It's great because I feel like I got the beach to myself again.
And the pool.
There was a period there where it was too much. They were actually talking about having to reserve a chair around the pool. Reserve a chair? No way.
We have a 1 hour rule on our pool chairs. If you're not in it for 1 hour, then someone can take your towel and move it to the side.
Okay, because you know what happens here, and I don't want to get it. This is a little inside baseball, but a lot of these condo places here in Jaco, when families come down, they like to kind of mark their territory well ahead of when they might be coming down. So, for example, a family will go down to the pool at like 6 a.m, right?
Exactly.
And they'll just lay towels all over all of the chairs. They'll reserve like 6 of them, put a cooler down there, and that's it. Those are their chairs. They might not even show up until noon. but the towel's there, so that's my chair.
Yeah, we made it in black and white right there. 1 hour. If you're not in your chair, it's gone.
Do you know there are people in the world, Lyle, who have real problems, like real problems, actual problems?
Well, that is kind of a problem. I mean, if I'm on vacation, I'm spending a few $100s a night. I want a chair.
I got to say, but it's great to have, and for the town especially, everybody flooding in, everybody making the best of this community, and everybody prospering. That's fantastic. But there's a point where I felt like there are some families who do come in here and maybe kind of take advantage of the situation a little bit.
Here in the projects or on the beaches?
Here in some of these projects. For example, a family will maybe rent a condo for 3 or 4 days, and 25 of their family members show up for dinner.
Oh, Jesus.
And then the pool area is just jammed with people. The elevators are unavailable, and it's just cars can't find places to park. And it's like none of these people are renting here. They're all just kind of leeching off. You know what I'm saying?
You guys were pretty hardcore here.
We are actually because
Mr. Paul Sanson does.
Well, Paul does. He runs a super tight ship. He doesn't want people coming in and making it hard for the long terms like me.
Or himself.
Yeah. Now we got to talk about this just a little bit. There was a kind of, well, I wouldn't say kind of, there was a total tragedy here, during Semana Santa. And unfortunately, a gentleman from Canada, did drown. And it's not uncommon, here in Costa Rica, largely because some of these areas for swimming can be dangerous, and more importantly, there are riptides. And I thought we could at least use this opportunity to discuss what are some of the tricks and tips and techniques that you need to know when you get yourself into a situation like this, as so does often happen in Costa Rica, right?
For sure. I mean, first is don't turn your back to the ocean.
Number one rule is always keep your eyes towards the waves, because we spoke on this. I remember when you were in and we were talking about how high the waves were that particular week. We hadn't seen them that high before.
No, they were, twice the size of yourself.
That's it. And that little guy coming in looks kind of cute, but then when it gets to you, it's going to knock you on your butt.
Yeah, and then it sucks you out.
That's the worst part. Is once you've been knocked over and you're a little bit disoriented, it's going to pull you out. And this is the hardest thing to do, is to find it within yourself, first of all, not to panic.
That's the part that gets everybody, is the panic.
You've got to let that wave take you out. Once you get past where it's starting to break, the hard part for a lot of folks now is that you're in a riptide in many of these cases, and it's going to start pulling you away from the shore. And this is where people panic. And you can't panic at this point.
No, you got to get all the way outside of it.
Yep. And the only way to do it is to just tread, let it pull you out, but start trying to swim parallel to the shore. And this is the key. We used this analogy before. Think of it as being on a treadmill, like a 100-meter wide treadmill that's starting to pull you out to sea. The only thing that you need to do is get off the treadmill, and then it's very easy to get back into shore. So you want to go parallel to shore and just calmly and patiently swim parallel to the shore. That's it. And then once you realize that you're not being pulled out, you can start working your way back in.
Or just stay in the pool of the condo.
And don't forget, please don't go swimming at night. Please.
Yeah, it's it's very sad. But it does happen here on a regular occurrence, and it's usually because people just don't know. They've never swam in the ocean.
This is one of the things is that, a lot of the folks who live in this area, I swim every day in the ocean, every single day. I go out and I swim, whether it's rough or it's not, and I feel perfectly safe because I'm doing it, one, in a way that I know responsibly that I can handle myself. Two, I'm always swimming at a time when the lifeguards are on duty. And three, I'm swimming when I see a lot of the surfers are out there as well. So this is one of the other things, Lyle, as you know, once you get yourself into trouble and you start signaling that's the case, there's a lot of the surfers will come over with their board and help you out.
For sure.
The thing is, if you go swimming at night and you have no experience and you get sucked out and you're on your own, you're literally on your own. And if you don't know how to handle that situation, tragedies such as this can certainly occur.
Yeah, it's just disappointing to hear it happen.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I mean, it's devastating to her and to her family and to all of his friends. And it's one of those things that it's an unavoidable tragedy in many cases when you have this volume of people coming to these kind of a place and not really. And I don't want to presume that he or she did not know what they were doing, but at the same time, from what I understand, the sequence of events was such that this was almost bound to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, It sucks because we put signs up. You do everything you possibly can to try to forewarn people, but
I think one of the hardest things, Lyle, is that we see, especially with a lot of the locals here as well, some of the drownings that occur of Costa Ricans is, again, and I'm not going to make a blanket generalization, but there are many cases where it's individuals who don't have experience swimming. They go to the beach once or twice a year. In some cases, certainly not in this guy's case, but in some cases, folks come down here, they have 5 or 6 beer on the beach, and you remember when you used to drink, you'd have a couple drinks on the beach, you don't realize how drunk you are out there in the sun.
For sure.
And then you go swimming, you start roughhousing around, and guess what? All your friends are a little bit drunk too. And the next thing you know, you get knocked down by a wave, you get sucked out to sea, now you're drunk, and you're swimming, and you're panicking, and this is when things go really, really bad.
Yeah, and there's not much you can do once you're in that situation.
Exactly. Well, I mean, keep calm, swim parallel to shore, and just make sure that in any case, if those waves are coming in and crashing really hard, stay out of the water. Hit the pool. That's what I do. Just sit in the hot tub.
I stay in the pool.
Have your cocktail there. I mean, I love swimming in the ocean, but, there are days when I go out and I swim, and if you feel just a little bit like this is too much, it is. Get back to shore.
Yeah, stay in the pool.
Stay in the pool. That's Lyle's advice. That's pretty good, actually. We should just put signs up everywhere. Just stay in the pool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to some lighter news because, as tragic as that is, I think it's important to keep reiterating that there are some dangers out there and that you need to take care of yourself and what you can do in those situations. But we gotta run into a little break here. But there's a couple things that are going on around town that I'd like to talk about. And you were telling me that you just went up to the pizza guys and had some wings. They're serving wings there now?
Yeah, they got wings. They had garlic parmesan and some hot wings too, some
oh my god,
buffalo style, and he cuts them all nice so they're easy to eat and everything. Oh, they were good with fried yuca.
And you didn't bring any here to the studio. Thanks a lot.
Next time.
All right. Stick around, guys. We're going to take a bit of a break. You're listening to This Week in Costa Rica, only on the Overseas Radio Network.
So you want to jump out your trick bag and ease on into hip bag, but you ain't just exactly sure what's hip.
You're tuned in to overseasradio.com. The station to help you reach your dream destination.
Georgetown Global Metals is a division of Georgetown Trust, Ltd., an international financial services company headquartered in Belize with offices in Zurich, Switzerland, and Panama City, Panama. Georgetown Global Metals is a leader in the physical acquisition and storage of metals worldwide. The company utilizes the best and most state-of-the-art facilities in Switzerland, Germany, Singapore, and Panama to store metals inside or outside the customs borders of the countries in which we maintain storage facilities. Georgetown can also acquire and store virtually any strategic, industrial, or defense-oriented metal for our clients. Most metals can also be fully insured throughout the delivery and storage process with Lloyd's of London. For a free, no-obligation quote on any precious or other metals, acquisition, or storage, please contact Louis Eck at georgetown@btl.net. Mention you heard about Georgetown Global Metals on ORN and receive 1 month storage absolutely free. Again, that is georgetown@btl.net or telephone international country code Belize +501 226 3569.
Establish your business in one of the most extraordinary cities in the world. Connect to a market of over 1.8 billion people from Dubai. Over 1,400 companies from around the world have made Dubai Airport Free Zone their Middle East and Africa headquarters. Dubai Airport Free Zone was rated one of the top free zones in the world. Let us help you set up your operations at Dubai Airport Free Zone and expand your market and sales in Asia and Africa. Call us at 214-537-9665 or send us an email at info@dafz-usa.com. That's info@dafz-usa.com.
Your perfect child has just been diagnosed with juvenile diabetes, a disease that leaves so many children subject to 30 insulin shots per day. This disease is caused by antibodies that attack insulin-producing pancreatic cells. Did you know that you can stop these antibodies in disease with an immunotherapy which uses the patient's own cells? We're here to answer your questions and to educate you on a non-invasive stem cell procedure using stem cells from the patient's own body. Get your questions answered by Dr. Alejandro Maesplace, whose research on stem cell therapy for diabetes is published in medical journals and applauded by medical professionals and professors at the University of Padua in Italy and Johns Hopkins University in the U.S. Treatment by Dr. Alejandro is the best choice of caring parents who prefer not to subject their child to any unnecessary risks or the negative side effects of chemical treatments like chemotherapy. Learn more at stemcellsjourney.com or call toll-free 888-806-6702. Also available on Skype, name @Messplace.
Do you want to completely and legally end your obligations to the U.S. government, including your obligation to pay income tax on your worldwide income? The Nestman Group has experience in dozens of these cases, and we can show you how. Contact us at 1-602-604-1524 or on the web at www.nestman.com and sign up for our free blog. The Nestman Group, Wealth Preservation Solutions.
You're listening to the Overseas Radio Network, the exclusive online radio station for the expatriate community.
Good. What? What is it? This Week in Costa Rica. Fun, informative, and your questions answered. Talk live with one of our on-air experts and start living your dream now.
Welcome back to This Week in Costa Rica. Spending a lovely day here in Jaco Beach. Vista Las Palmas, the Overseas Radio Studio. Our broadcast facility here on the West Coast. Hanging out with Lyle today, talking about all things Jaco. I still feel like we're just getting over the Semana Santa, winding down into that, I wouldn't say rainy season, because we don't see a lot of rain here as they do in the Central Valley, right?
For sure. I love this time of the year.
Man, it's good because everything's starting to cool down a little bit. And a little bit of cloud cover, I think, is fantastic at the beach.
No, it makes it great.
I know a lot of people want to go out and they want to get burnt to a crisp, but I'm not Mr. Rock Lobster. I like to go out, run around on the beach, play in the sand and stuff, and that cloud cover, I think it keeps it nice and cool. So for me, this is a great time of year.
No, we need to get more people down here this time of year so they can see it, because they get turned away because everybody tells them that this is the rainy season.
That's the big fear. And you know what it is? And they're right in a sense, in that in the Central Valley, if you are there, and I don't know why anybody would come there for a vacation, to be straight with you. But let's say that you're in San Jose for vacation, enjoy. But there you are, and it's going to rain like cats and dogs, from 1 till maybe 6 in the afternoon, especially when you were leading up to into October. It's going to be a mess. But here on the West Coast now, where I'm enjoying it, we see maybe a blast for 30 or 45 minutes, and then it's done.
Yeah, or we'll get some night rain.
Yeah, the best, because it cools everything down. Keeps everything green and cleans the streets.
So what you know of any events or anything happening anytime soon?
Here in Jaco?
Yeah.
Well, I got one that I'm really excited about. I've actually got two. And I don't want to make this announcement, but I got to say, I think there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to the Obama conference.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Are you going in on the press pass deal?
Yeah. I think I'm actually, I've been invited, so I think I'm going to go.
For sure. Let's do a live show.
I'm serious. I want to fist bump Obama.
I don't think you're going to get that close.
I don't know. But I mean, it's Costa Rica. Anything's possible here. Anything.
Did anybody paint their houses?
It's okay. Could you explain to me exactly what's going on here? Because I think the idea was that they mentioned that they wanted to spruce up the country a bit for him, right?
Yeah, they asked some people to paint their houses for him.
Okay.
They wanted little pink houses with white picket fences for Obama when he came.
Well, then first what we should do is see if the Obama administration would be willing to send us some funds in order to do that. Because from what I understand, the United States has a ton of money to give away.
Oh, they give us money all the time.
Yeah, so if they could just give us a little bit more for fresh paint, we could go down to Sur and pick out some colors and spruce the place up a little bit for them.
I thought that was classic.
Do you think, though? I don't imagine, like we just had, and we had a massive protest and almost riot at the Juan Santa Maria celebration in Alajuela when the president spoke, our president Chinchilla, and I'm wondering what we're going to see in terms of turnout of protesters and people who probably have a lot to say about the United States when Obama comes for his visit.
Costa Ricans don't like the United States?
Well, and there are a few that don't really appreciate us. Let's just say that.
There's some extremists.
There's always a few. But, I mean, we'd have to realize, too, 85% of what happens here economically in Costa Rica is a direct result of the United States of America, period.
Yeah, well, then they should be happy.
I think they will be. But I'm happy. If I can go, man, if I can get that close to Obama, I got a little Obama fever, got to tell you.
Oh, look at you.
Well, I mean, he's a rock star. That's the thing. He may not be a good president, but boy, is he cool.
I think you're going to get a lot of emails about this one.
I get a lot of emails already.
They didn't know you were a liberal Democrat from Canada.
I'm not a liberal Democrat from Canada.
Socialist.
Right. Yeah.
Corey's our socialist on the radio show here.
You know, I have to say, well, I'm not going to say it. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting political here today.
You already did.
I know. I'm thinking about going up to this ProMed conference, though, that's happening at Los Sueños. You guys are the ones who are actually kind of putting this on, right?
We're help facilitating a lot of it through the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, so as I understand this, the idea really is this is a council that's been assembled for the international promotion of Costa Rica medicine, right?
Exactly.
And this country is, of course, a hotbed for all kinds of things, medical, especially medical tourism is really picking up steam here.
No, it's huge. The dental and the dental is the biggest of all of them right now.
And I think the great thing is that like we spoke last week to Dan about this topic and how more and more people are trying to find relevant and interesting information or relevant information about how to move, or not to move rather, but to come down to Costa Rica, get the dental work that you need done for maybe a quarter to a third of the price that you would pay in the United States, but more importantly, turn it into a vacation opportunity while you recover.
No, that's the goal with having it here in Jaco, and that's what ProMed looks at. Last year they had it up in the Guanacaste area, but now they really want to focus on having it here because it's closer to San Jose where all the major hospitals are. So if people are going to do stuff, well, then they can make it into a vacation and come down to Jaco, which is only an hour away, instead of trying to go to a beach that's 3 hours away.
I think the idea here is great because, we spoke a lot last week on this topic, and I know it's going to come up a lot more in this program, that I knew somebody who actually ran a really, really interesting plastic surgery clinic up in this area. And the idea was that women were coming down to get breast implants done here.
Yep.
And we had done at the hospital, like, for example, at SEMA. But part of the service it was sort of a concierge service that also included accommodations. And this is the idea is that, for example, in the United States, say, for example, you want to have a breast implant. And you're looking at maybe $3,000 or $4,000 a unit, I'm guessing. Right? Yep. Whereas here, you're looking at maybe $1,000, $1,500. And the quality of service is going to be as good. And you're getting it done in an American-run hospital. But the cool part is that instead of maybe spending $15,000 for the procedure in total, you can get it all done for $3,000 to $5,000, and you can have like a 5-star resort waiting for you while you recover.
Yeah, that's the plan behind all of it.
I think it's a great idea, and it's like I don't know about breast implants. I'm fine, but for other folks, maybe this is the way to go. Costa Rica might be the place to do it.
For sure. I mean, and all kinds of stuff, hip replacement, knee replacements, all that kind of stuff is a lot cheaper here, too, if you don't have the proper insurance to cover it. And what's going on in the U.S., everybody's losing their insurance, right? So they're looking for alternative ways to do it. Like my parents' insurance is going up to like $800 or $900 a month.
Wow.
When you start looking at that, $10,000 a year, is it better to put that $10,000 a year into a bank account, and when you get in trouble, pay for it yourself?
Mm-hmm. So I guess the idea is that, finding a way to take advantage of this opportunity that we have in Costa Rica already is that we have the facilities in place. We have the accommodations in place. It's really about unifying a lot of these services and getting them to cross-communicate better so that it can be a much more fluid experience for the patient.
Yeah, because we're so close to everywhere, right? We have so many direct flights that are so easy to get here, which makes it really easy. I know a lot of insurance companies that are with big companies, they'll fly a whole planes of people down here to do work.
Sure. And you know what? It's not as scary. And I say this, I'm talking out of my butt here, but it's not as scary as a place like Mexico, frankly. I mean, Mexico is, of course, it's a safe, great, beautiful destination. But, I mean, you tell me that I'm going down to Mexico to get surgery, I'm a little bit scared.
For sure.
Whereas you say I'm going to Costa Rica, for some reason, maybe it's my bias, but I feel a little bit better about it already.
Costa Rica has this whole perception, right, that this is such a friendly country. It is a friendly country, but the difference between going to Mexico and Costa Rica, I mean, I think for everybody it's the same. You know, I mean, when you say the two words together, you think of Mexico, you think of danger right now.
Yep. And one of the things I think it's great, though, if I look at this ProMed organization now and what they're trying to do with this is really sort of standardize the process. Make it easy for people who are looking at comparative countries to look at it from a standards perspective. And I'm having a hard time trying to express this, but it's really, that's the idea, is that if I'm looking at moving or going to another country in order to have a procedure done, I'm going to compare 5 or 6 of the top countries. If there's a way that we can standardize that comparison and then find within that standardization a way to make Costa Rica most competitive, it gives every opportunity for all the boats to be raised by the rising tide. Yeah,
for sure. And it's the great thing is the big advantages are the insurance companies in the U.S. They can get the services down here cheaper.
Exactly.
So if they can convince their clients to get on a plane and go and take a vacation to Costa Rica to go get a hip replacement, or, you know what I mean, or whatever it is, they can convince them to do that. They're going to save half on it, and they'll get paid on time.
That's it. Okay, you know what I'm going to have to do here? I'm going to go to this conference because as a local and as a member of the Chamber of Commerce, I have all these great advantages. So I'm going to go take advantage of going up and checking out what this is all about, because as it stands right now, I'm really, and admittedly, only scratching the surface of how great this is going to be, not only for the community of Jaco and surrounding area, but for Costa Rica on the whole, because tourism obviously being one of the largest industries, if not the largest industry in this country, medical tourism and the ability for us to take the best advantage of the facilities in the country here that we have now, I mean, it's just going to be great for everybody. So I'm really excited about this ProMed conference.
No, it should be exciting. There's over 500 people coming from around the world, so it should be pretty cool.
All right, well, I'm going to report from that. I'm going to be fist-bumping Obama. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch more. Woody's coming in. We're going to talk all things ESL. I got a great announcement for you guys. Stick around for hour 2. We're going to play some news for you. This is Corey and Lyle on This Week in Costa Rica, only on the Overseas Radio Network.
So you want to jump out your trick bag and ease on into hip bag, but you ain't just exactly sure what's hip.
Ready to learn about a new life overseas?